Kill la Kill, episode 9. And it felt like 5 episodes. It was awesome. Now, right, they do a very good job, okay, in this anime of reminding us of stuff, of to keep displaying people's different personality traits and everything, reminding us right in the beginning why this is all happening, because Ryuko needs to defeat Satsuki to find out about her father. And the whole thing of Gamagori right in the beginning with the Elite Four, the smack talk, because he defeated the least. Now, that opened up the smack talk, and Banhat is the best smack talker by far. Oh, thank you so much for leaving the rest of it, that whole thing. But it just reinforces that he is defensive. And of course he even said, well, I needed, I just, attacked you, attack me. So it's, and just reminding us, so when it comes to the battle, right, which was a big factor, that's what's going on. Now, once again, the announcement went over the loudspeaker. Instead of this being a throwaway scene or something just of amusement, it's used to show us the conditions, to reinforce about the conditions in the slums. Men and people and dogs fighting are in the trash trying to get food to survive, and kind of the hints of prostitution and the thievery and all the things. People are living on the margin. Okay. This show goes all out. I mean, it's just showing us, how people are in the slums. And they're definitely going to get back to that point with something that's said a little bit later. Now, one of the things that I actually have problems with, most people, the reason they don't watch this anime is because of the fan service, the partial nudity or whatever. They can't stand it. And I'll get back to that also. But the biggest thing that gets me is Mutoi, the brother, and his stealing. I mean, really, they keep making fun of it. It's like, it's not. I know it's weird. It hits us all different. It makes me feel very uncomfortable making light of his stealing. It's just me. I don't like it. But of course, the whole TV scene was kind of funny. But like I said, it really bothered me. Now, the teacher, right? He's a nudist, and evidently one of his abilities, I'm assuming because of that, is he can do like a timeout freeze thing. And she didn't have any memory. She was just frozen, Mako, right? So, I guess that was the new ability we're seeing, what was. And why a nudist would want that, I don't know. But that was kind of interesting. And, of course, we get to the fight, right? And the whole thing with Gamagori, and she already knows, as everybody's figured out, if you just go and fight this guy, he's just going to, multiply the damage back to you, right? So this has been reinforced over and over. We've been told this over and over. And oh yeah, one thing, the ball gag like Mike he talks it too. I found that absolutely hilarious. Oh yeah, and I set a record for this. 3 pages of notes. This is crazy. Anyway, Gamagori versus Satsuki. Whoa, where did this come from? So, a lot of people weren't satisfied with Gamagori's history. They said, well, there needs to be more. And what'd you get? You got more. So, and although there's, well, anyway, just covered. There's something I do have a problem with. So, this bonus fight, flashback, which is freaking phenomenal in my opinion. Okay, Gamagori, he wants to show that there are those that will not yield to force. As anyone that watches a lot of anime, reads a lot, does anything that has to do a lot with characters, what do we want as fans? We want complex characters, right? We don't want cardboard cutouts marching along. We want complex. We want the good, the bad, and everything in between. So these characters really seem like they're can exist on some level, or at least to be interesting. Put it that way. Not that they actually exist, and that leads to, but it was really interesting, and the whole thing of him using her sword sheath so that he wouldn't, bow, he wouldn't be knocked down all the way. Even in defeat, he says, I'm not going to bow to you. But this is the part where I kind of had a problem. I really did have a problem. I had the biggest problem that I've had in anything except for the stealing in the series. And that was his finally submitting and saying, okay, in 2 years, I'll help you. I can understand this, like, culturally, I believe that the whole thing is, he was defeated, and the way that she asked him to join instead of forcing, I could see it, but I felt that this is the first thing I think has been a mistake in the anime, is that they should have teased this out a little bit more for the transition, to see him dealing with her on a non-fighting level and joining her of his own free will. Even though it's what happened, it just the way it's so quick, and it wasn't that good. That's just my own opinion. That's what I had a problem with. Your opinions are always more than welcome. Viewer comments have been phenomenal. I can't get enough people to make viewer comments, but the viewer comments that are made are absolutely awesome. So I really do appreciate that. Keep that going. And humor, of course. Fan service. Here we go. When she falls off and she's hanging from the scissors, full frontal nudity. That was hilarious. I don't have a problem with it, so that's just a big deal. Okay. Law and Order. The cleansing whip. The whip of love. Look, whether you're in bondage or not, this stuff's funny. This is just absolutely funny. So I find this absolutely hilarious. It's over the top. It's funny. It's not repetitive. And as anybody will say, one of the big things about this is that they keep moving along so fast. So they do their bits. They're funny, and they keep moving. Okay, the final four. Oh, this is my favorite line. Hold on. My favorite line in this, tell me what yours is if you don't mind. This was, your independence is revoked. This is my favorite line out of the whole thing. I absolutely loved it. And, oh gosh, here we go. This really got into it. And then of all people, the hypocrisy of this, right? This bondage guy is getting all over Ryuko. Her sailor slut uniform, deprived, deviant. Now, I want to transition to something else real quick. This is what's so funny. The main reason that people don't like the series that they've spoke about, is the whole thing, the fan service thing, and they don't like it, whatever, and that's fine. People, if you don't like something for whatever reason, that's fine. I'm not criticizing the people that made it, said that. It's just funny that this character has basically said what the main reason is for people that don't like the series. So I thought that was rather funny. And of course, the exclusion of Satsuki. She's like, well, what about Satsuki? Because same kind of, oh, well, she's on a whole different level, and she's like, oh, come on, Ryuko totally called Gamagori out on that, and that was just absolutely hilarious and awesome. And then, oh gosh, the whole, if you look at the mold that Ryuko was getting crushed by Gamagori, if you looked in there, it looked like Mako. It looked like Mako, didn't it? It looked like her. Did she get molded? Remember, she's always getting disciplined in trouble. Oh my gosh. If the Mako that we see now is the results of Gamagori's molding her, perfect student mold thing, then what does she really look like? So is this going to come off? Are we going to see another version of Mako? Wow, that would be insane. It looks like her, doesn't it? The mold, her, the hair, the little bows tie. It looks like her. That's what happened to her. Remember, she's already in trouble. But anyway, like I say, harping on that. That's what it looks like. That blew my mind right there. So, like I said, we could possibly see a transformation of her back to her real self. That would be crazy. Anybody that says there isn't a lot going on in this series is out of their freaking mind. There's so much going on in this series. All right. Human Taiyaki. I went and looked it up. So you don't have to, but you can. It's fish-shaped cakes. It's like they've been molded. Okay, fish-shaped cakes. So that's a little bit of info out there. All right, we're on page 3, by the way. Okay. Oh, wow, this is going long. But anyway, look, this is an awesome series, a lot to talk about. And I would love to do an hour or more viewer comments. You have no idea. Just make your comments. Don't, if you go, this is going to, go. Just make. If you have something to say, keep writing. Keep making your comments. They're just awesome. You can put them on one block now, and trust me, I love that. Now that is one of the things that I like about the change. I'm not getting into the whole deal about that. And then, oh boy, the ultimate whip of love. Okay, and then Senketsu bites into the ultimate whip of love. And, okay, and then it makes it through the uniform. Okay, alright. Okay, yes, there was something going on there. Now, let's get into the whole Kamui blade thing. I loved this. Remember that the blade, the scissor itself, the Kamui was able to give it its own transformation, but that was the suit doing that to the sword. So now, it only makes sense. This makes perfect sense. It was set up, it makes perfect. The suit's transformation, right, their ability to transform into something else. This was so brilliant. Her kind of porcupine thing with spikes and everything. So now she's got her offensive, right, first, transformation, or first mode, and then like her second mode, her transformation into a defensive mode, which she needs. This is brilliant. I absolutely love this. This just made just a billion times sense to me. I absolutely loved it. Well, tell me what you think about the porcupine transformation. Oh, and then we get into like Gamagori's Shogun seppuku, right? Suicide. And then about to do is the Harikari part of it and disembowel himself. Like, wow. Now, this is the second time that Satsuki has come in to help one of her Elite Four. And just let's make sure we remember. Ryuko's already defeated 2 of them. Alright, she's going to have to, of course, defeat one again that's had a power-up. And this guy, I'm sure, is going to get some kind of power-up because he got defeated. So he's going to have to go out. But this one I could really see. I was surprised the last one, Satsuki saved him. This one, you can see. This is someone pretty dependable. You definitely see her saving him. So, but there we are. Just remember, if she defeats all 4, she's actually defeated one twice. And Turtleneck Dude. I've had a lot of people have curiosity about Turtleneck Dude. And it was interesting right at the end. They're like, well, we haven't even seen his mouth. And he goes, there it is. Boom. That was awesome. Loved it. So we actually know, and that's been another thing people have been kind of, I think wanting to know a little bit more about what we're going to face in the next chapter. So the next part of the series, number 10, is going to be Turtleneck Dude, whatever his name is. Okay, and then, but anyway, just a little refresher. So she's got her skimpy offensive set, and she's got her skimpy defensive set, Ryuko. All right, a couple of other little things. Go ahead and finish this out. This has been a crazy long review all in one. And remember, viewer comments, make them. If you have something, as long as you have something to say, keep typing, keep going. It's awesome. And and here, well, this is kind of a couple little things. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I realize I'm harping on this maybe a little bit, but where does the most proper student live at in the community? If that's Mako, she lives in a slum. I mean, that gives you an idea, right, of being, an obedient slave kind of person in this society. That isn't really how you move up. Okay. So it's really sad that Mako is like the perfect student. And was she, that's my final question, really, was she molded? Is she, are we going to see another, a transformation of her to a different form? That would be insane. I love this character, but I wouldn't mind, I just would have to see the other side of the character. And will there be a thing of her trying to stay or go back, or which is she happy with, or... It's great. I love this series. I love this series. It is so awesome. Comments! Let's do this thing. Viewer comments. Let's get this rolling. I'll try to get that knocked out in a couple of days this time. A lot earlier. Anybody can be an anime fan. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time.